All right, good afternoon, fellas. Today is day 6. Just headed to a restaurant to have some breakfast. I woke up a bit earlier today, so I've got a lot more time to get stuff done. I'm feeling good, feeling refreshed. I feel like I got a decent night of rest. I think my body's finally starting to catch up with the new time zone. I feel like the jet lag really hit me, and it hit me way longer than I expected. I was sleeping really late, and it's not even like I've been going out partying or anything like that. I think my body just said, yeah, we're still stuck in that London time zone. So yeah, I think I'm finally starting to, come around and adjust appropriately. But otherwise, yeah, just gonna go have that breakfast. Then I'm gonna head to the place that I was supposed to go to a few days ago, which is called M Quartier, which is it's like a fancy part of town. They've got lots of high-end malls and restaurants and other sort of stuff, so I thought it'd be good to just check it out. I don't plan on spending much money on any designer stuff or anything like that, but yeah, I figured it might be nice to just explore a different part of town. I imagine I'll do quite a few approaches. I didn't do many yesterday, and so whenever I have a light day of approaches, I like to follow it up with a more active day. So hopefully today will be that day. Yeah, I guess until then I'll just keep you updated, but otherwise let's see what happens. So peace out. Alright, so boys, I just went in for an approach about 10 minutes ago before I got a bike to this place here, which is the fancy mall I talked about. I literally finished my breakfast, and then I was about to book my motorcycle, and then literally as I walked out, I saw this absolute baddie. She was maybe 15-20 meters ahead of me by the time I'd come outside, and she was walking pretty fast, and I had a feeling that she might have been going to the train station. So in that moment I was like, I need to giddy up and make a move, because if I don't, then I'm gonna have to follow her into the train station, into the stairs, and I don't want to be that, I don't want to make it wait for that long. So I literally just jogged. I basically jogged, caught up with her, and then got in front, said excuse me, and she was immediately receptive. Turns out she's half Nigerian, half German, but she was really cool. We spoke for about maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Turns out she lives in Bangkok. Yeah, we just had a nice back and forth, talked about where we're from. And then to be fair, she was asking me a lot of questions. She was asking me why I'm here, how long I'm staying for, whereabouts I'm living. And then we spoke about a little bit about our background. And so got her number. So it's funny, right? This is interesting because this is actually the first number that I've gotten out here. Now, every other person that I've interacted with, I've basically had I've taken their Instagram, and this is still a crutch of mine. And to be fair, most of the time I give the Instagram if the girl suggests it, but a lot of the time I actually suggest it myself. And I think one of the reasons why is because I like to use it as a form of social proof, especially if I haven't had a long conversation, or if I'm not 100% clear that the girl's really interested. But yeah, it's one thing I'm trying to work on, which is just asking for the number. And if she says, I'd rather give you my Instagram, then fine, you can take the Instagram. But yeah, this is the first one where I went for the number. But I guess the reason why is because I could just tell that she was on, based on the conversation, based on her receptivity, I could just tell that it made more sense to go for a number. It wouldn't have made any sense to go for an Instagram. Yeah, I went for it, and then got the details, sent her a message, she replied. And in terms of setting up a date, I didn't set up a specific time. I basically told her I want to take her out tonight. But but with this one, this one feels more legit. But granted, I have said that before, and the complete opposite has happened. So again, I'm not gonna latch onto it or think too much about it. I've already done the approach, and now I'm at the destination that I wanted to get to. So okay, so and just like that, I just got blown out. Got blown out heavy. Pretty funny one. I will say, you know what, I'll probably put that on myself. that was a pretty terrible approach. That's how it works, right? Like you have a good one, and then you have a bad one, and then you have a couple more good ones, and then you can go up, down, left, right. It's kind of unpredictable. So I love it when that happens, because a lot of the time you think that because you had a good approach, you're gonna have another good approach. And the reality is that you could have an amazing approach, and then the next one is literally completely different. You just get humbled straight away. So I guess that just speaks to the idea that every single approach is independent of the one before and the one after. So no point in getting too ecstatic about the good ones, and no point in getting too down about the bad ones. So yeah. Okay, boys, so update on the latest approaches. So I've done about, let's say, 3 more. All 3 were conversations. So I'll say the first one lasted about, let's say, maybe 3 minutes. Second one lasted probably 4 minutes, and then the last one lasted literally probably 15 minutes. Now it's funny, right? Because this is interesting, because every single approach, they were all independently, let's say, unique. So what I mean by that is each one had a different outcome, and every single one had a different vibe. So the first one, which was the shortest one, was interesting because I approached her. I kind of went from the side, so I didn't really go like straight in front, but either way I got her to stop, and then I gave her the compliment, although we were sort of standing like perpendicular to each other, so it wasn't like a front face-to-face sort of interaction, at least at the start. But yeah, I mean, I still managed to stop her and then gave her the compliment. It was interesting because she took the compliment well, and we had a bit of a conversation, but I could tell that she wasn't too interested because she wasn't asking me questions back. And even though she was smiling and somewhat engaged, she was also like angled away. So looking back, I probably should have just been like, okay, well, either way, you know, have a good day, and it was nice talking to you. But a part of me wanted to stay in the conversation because early on it felt as if she might have just been a bit shy and just needed me, and I just needed to talk a little bit more. But yeah, ultimately, after talking for about 3 minutes, I realized, yeah, she's not actually that interested. So yeah, I just basically exited. And then of course at the end I found out that she had a boyfriend, so I was like, all right, well, that makes sense now, right? A lesson for that one is, if you're not feeling it, if she's not feeling it, just exit the conversation, just move on. And yeah, basically like save yourself the time of like having this long drawn out conversation. I mean, because sometimes the girl can be too shy, so she won't exit the conversation, she'll just stay in there, but it doesn't really benefit any of you if we're just like talking for no apparent reason. So yeah, I think I would have just exited a little bit sooner, but anyway, I caught on to the vibe eventually and just left the conversation myself. Then fast forward like maybe a couple more minutes, and I approached this Argentinian girl, and her reaction was way more explosive, very thankful for the approach. She was very bubbly. But it's funny because with this one, obviously this was like the complete opposite of the first conversation, but what made this one funny was, even though we spoke for about 4 or 5 minutes, it was clear to me that the vibe was, even though it was, back and forth, receptive, good energy, I could just, a part of me was like, this is a platonic conversation. And so it wasn't fully platonic, right? There was some flirtiness, vibeness going on, but I wasn't sure. So towards the end of the convo, when I actually told her I want to take her out for a drink, she agreed, But even when she agreed for the drink and she offered her contact details, a part of me was like, I'm not quite sure if she knows that I'm flirting with her, right? And so eventually I just told her, what did I say? I think I said, look, I want to take you out for a drink so that we could continue flirting. And when I said that, now all of a sudden she was like, oh, really? Okay. And then we had this conversation about how guys from Kenya, in her experience, have been players. And she was talking about how, like, you know, apparently guys from Africa, you know, we like to have multiple wives, which, hey man, I ain't complaining. I'm definitely not disagreeing. That could be the case. Multiple wives sounds like a headache to me, but if that's what you want, then do your thing. But the fact that she mentioned that was the first time that we actually now had this like proper flirty, let's say, convo that wasn't so platonic. And so we were sort of talking about that, and then I joked with her and I told her that, you know, I have so much love to give that, you know, if I want multiple wives, then it makes sense. It's you know, it's better for the world. And she found that funny. But then at the end of that convo, she eventually said something like, well, we can still get a drink, but let's get a drink as friends. And that was when I was like, I knew it, right? So she enjoyed the conversation, she enjoyed the back and forth, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we were having this, you know, amazing flirty conversation, even though the vibes felt good. And so it can be a little bit deceiving. It can be deceiving because I think an inexperienced version of me would have thought, oh, like this is going amazing, and therefore I'm like, this is in the bag, like this is going to lead to a great fun date. But I think because of the experience I've had and the conversations I've had, and you know, I know how to gauge interest. I just knew it. And so when she said that, I kind of lit up and I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I prodded a little bit further. Because if I didn't, then I would have been going on a date which was probably going to lead to nothing. Now, so obviously I had that convo. I took her Instagram anyway, but I'm not going to set up a date with her. And then, so after that, I then went on, kept on pushing it, and then eventually I approached this like Filipino girl, and she was looking incredible. And yeah, we had like a 12-minute interaction at least, and yeah, the vibes were like super flirty pretty early on. We even started talking about making an OnlyFans for her and stuff. And yeah, I mean, the conversation, I won't talk about all of it, but I just realized I've walked into H&M. Okay, I'm gonna go back down. But yeah, it was a really good conversation, and yeah, it was the complete opposite of the second one, right? Even though the energy was like, let's say, fairly similar, the main difference was that this one actually felt fairly flirty. Like this one was actually going in the right direction, and we spoke for long, but the content of the conversation was like, it wasn't platonic at all. And so yeah, I set up a date with her. Well, I haven't like set up an official date, but yeah, I mean, we'll probably try and do something in the next few days. But she's here with her friends as well, but she's definitely down. So I'll try and get that penned in at some point. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much 2 dates in the bag now. Again, I don't want to say that they're definitely going to happen, because anything could happen, as I've already documented in the past 5 days. But other than that, I'm happy with how it's gone so far. I think that's me done, to be honest. I'm probably going to go to this cafe that one of the girls recommended to me, and then just have a nice tea, do some reading, and then probably go back and do some more editing. Anyway, yeah, I'll catch you boys in a bit. Peace out.